Good morning, guys. Welcome back. I figured it'd be fun to do a few days in the life. This week is shaping up to be a beautiful week, both in terms of the weather and also in terms of plans. It is Monday at like 10 a.m. right now, and it's 65 degrees outside. Beautiful, sunny, a beautiful breeze. It smells like honeysuckle in the air. I truly cannot complain. But as far as my plans for today goes, it seems as though I have clients the rest of the day. And I'm hoping to intersperse some gardening in between because the weather should not have any more frost or freezes, which means I can start planting hopefully some of the herbs going forward. So that is my plans currently, and I'll take you guys along with whatever we can get up to. While we're gardening out here, I kind of wanted to sit down and have a little heart-to-heart conversation because, quite frankly, the last year of my life is nothing like I expected, or honestly even would say hoped it would be. There's been a lot of amazing things and things that I truly cannot look forward to enough, such as, for example, getting and buying our farm. I know that doesn't come lightly. It's a dream, again, that I don't think I ever thought would ever truly come to fruition, yet we're making it happen. But making it happen obviously does not come without sacrifices. So for those of you guys that watched my last video, you will know that we are no longer building at the moment, which was certainly unplanned and quite a bit of a pivot for us. Obviously, I think the Lord has made it quite clear this is just not the timing for us. Therefore, at this point, we're kind of just holding off, honestly, just trying to live life with a very open heart and very open hands. I find that's honestly when life is most enjoyable. I think when we try to plan every minute detail, we lose so much joy in it, and it's just not, I think, what God has in plan for us. I think His plans are always so much better than ours, and I look back on our life thus far, and I see that so evidently. Truly, I didn't want to move away from family when we first got married, yet in doing so, it blessed us with our first beautiful house that I could not be more thankful for. Yet again, we moved away from family even further down to Georgia for around a year. And honestly, there was many tears involved, but honestly, I look back even to this day and think, wow, that was one of the best years of my life. And I truly cannot be more thankful for that period of time and the friends that we made, because they've shaped who I am as a person. And I know, looking back here, maybe in 4 or 5 years, whatever it might be at this current time frame, that I'm going to think the exact same thing of, wow, that was hard, but I cannot imagine my life without the way it's worked itself out now. And I saw this quote recently, and it truly just spoke so deeply to me. And it goes, God uses our trials to build our faith, to draw us closer to Him, and to give us a testimony of His faithfulness for others to see. And maybe that's the whole purpose, honestly, of me filming my life, just for fun, to put it on YouTube for others to see, is that God has a purpose for you, even if it's not completely evident, if it's not the plan that you thought it was set forth for yourself. I can promise you, one day down the road, you will look back and know that even if you're going through a hard point in life, it will have had a reason, if not to bring someone else maybe closer to the Lord. And obviously, I know this is not something that I've ever spoke about on my channel before, but I do think that honestly having faith, whether or not it is super deep or it's very new or whatever it might be, makes life so much more abundantly clear as to what the purpose is and enjoyable. And I just wanted to share, if you're currently going through an unexpected time or a season of waiting, whether it's waiting to find a new job or to buy your first house, to find your person and get married or start a family or whatever it may be, to one, enjoy the moment that you're currently in, because at one point you're going to wish you would have slowed down and enjoyed the time that you have. And two, know that your time is coming, maybe not on the timeline that you currently have envisioned for yourself. None of my life has been honestly according to the timeline vision I would set forth for myself back if I went and talked to my high school self. But again, it's been abundantly clear that it is infinitely better than I could have ever dreamed of. And I just wanted to share again that if you're in the same circumstance, to have faith. There's so much beauty in store for you. And to not miss out on these daily joys that we get to have here and now, whether or not it's something so simple as starting an herb garden as I am here. whether it's going for a walk with friends and family, whether it's simply just having a good home-cooked meal or whatever it might be, to enjoy each and everything. I think that's the whole point of life, is to enjoy all the blessings that we are given and to take the hardships and eventually turn them into blessings along the way. But that is my talk for now. If you stuck through this far, thank you so much. And if it resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts and kind of where your life is taking you. If it's taking you to places that you truly didn't expect. Honestly, is anyone out there living a life that they planned out from, let's say, their high school or college self to this very day? If so, I would love to hear from you down in the comments. But otherwise, that's it for now. And let's get back on into the video and back more so into the baking that I currently have in store. Told you, I've got a lot of that slow living things going on right now because I think that's just where most of the joy comes from right at this moment. Why does that smell so good? I'm not gonna lie, I look forward to this every single week. However, I'm still playing around with my recipe, so I haven't honestly quite figured out my go-to. Therefore, sometimes we have some that are not as good as some of the others have been. Alright, so currently what I've been doing is roughly 200 grams of the just bleached all-purpose flour, or correction, unbleached all-purpose flour. And then recently I got in an order for my Azure Standard, so I've been trying out their their already milled red wheat bread flour. And the last one that I made actually turned out pretty darn good. I also used it for our homemade pizza dough last week, and it also turned out really good. The one thing I have found is it keeps things a little bit more moist. I'm sorry for anyone out there that hates that word, but it's what it does. So at least that's what I have found that it does. This is my first time doing this, so we'll see how it keeps going. Honestly, I just keep playing with it as it goes. It's just one giant experiment at this point. So now that I got all my ingredients, I'm just going to mix this up and go from there. Also, I don't know, for anyone else out there, is this just like super relaxing? Like, I honestly find any kind of baking or cooking is my way to decompress. I know not everyone feels that way. Or honestly, I don't even think most people feel that way. But me and a few of my friends kind of feel this way, so honestly, even if we don't have any reason to bake, we'll bake something and just find someone to give it to, and or in some cases just freeze it for later. One of the other things that I was hoping to do today was to possibly reorganize and or redecorate the basement in some sense, because when we first moved down here, I didn't think, or none of us thought this would be a long-term situation. We thought at the most it would be maybe a year and a half, at the absolute longest, maybe 2 years. At this point in time, I don't know what our building situation looks like, as we were supposed to close on our mortgage and supposed to break ground on our home build back in March. And just due to some miscommunications and a lot of errors that just happened throughout that process, that is no longer a viable option anymore. So kind of we're in the middle of no man's land at the moment, therefore we don't know how long we're going to be here unless we find some kind of alternative building plan, which ironically was what we were trying to do in the first place, is we were hoping to do kind of like a barn-dominium situation. I think now what we are kind of falling into is we might do more so like a garage with a very small apartment up top, so like maybe I think it's like 796 square feet or so, and about like that 32 or like what 24 by 32 range as a place to live. We'll see how that pans out. Honestly, I'm just throwing things out there at this point, but in the meantime, I want to make this place feel as cozy as possible, which means I kind of want to rearrange furniture and just how things look. Also, it is spring, and therefore I feel like anytime spring comes around, like we've just had the dull gross winter and it's just dark and dreary, you just want things to feel alive and brightened up again. Therefore, I'm thinking we need to do some rearranging with where things are. So I think what I'm going to do is take the Peloton, since honestly none of us are using it at the moment, and move it into a storage area and rotate it to the storage unit. And then I'm going to move the treadmill around the corner where our current dining room table is and move the dining room table out here. That way you have just like one cute place opposed to trying to have like kind of the junk workout zone, living area, kitchen, and then like Sam's office and our kitchen table over there. And because it's honestly around the corner, we don't end up ever eating over there because sometimes we are watching TV while we eat, even though I don't really like that habit. Sometimes that is just what happens to decompress from the day. Therefore, I would prefer if we more so frequently ate at our dining room table. And also, I like working when there's light. And unfortunately, around that corner, it's just pure darkness. This is the only window in the whole basement outside of the one in the bedroom. Therefore, anything that's beyond that point gets very dark and dreary and just all around sad. Therefore, what I'm thinking is moving everything out of here, aside from the cubes, and then covering the cubes up with probably some of the tablecloths that I've acquired. That way it's not so chaotic, potentially. And or honestly, if they're on the ground and they're lower, probably the table will more than likely block them from view, which is another hope of mine. So I'm gonna get you playing around with the concept of this and see kind of what my thoughts are. There is a chance that I'm thinking maybe we run one of the cubes this way and then the other six cubes worth that direction, and putting my fiddle leaf fig tree in that corner just because where it is currently often gets hit and I don't want it to get damaged since that was a wedding gift from my grandmother and we've had it for we've had it for more than 4 years now since I got it when my bridal showers that was in the early spring. So it's lived a long life, but right now it's almost nearing its end if it doesn't get moved here soon probably. So let's kind of play around and see where we get with everything. Happy Friday, guys. It's been quite a bit. Welcome to my new dining room setup. Don't you guys love the afternoon light that we're getting over here? Honestly, this has just made my week. Moving everything around. I don't exactly love what's around the corner, which is where like the workout area and Sam's desk situation is, but if it means I get this, I'll take it. We've actually had dinners at the table for once, which is absolutely amazing, and I've missed it dearly since we moved from Georgia. And I haven't done this in a while, but I even treated myself to some tulips just as a way to brighten up the week. So happy spring days ahead. And of course with spring comes rainy weather. So it is about to be Easter weekend and supposed to be a massively rainy one in the sense that we're supposed to get full-blown rain all day, every day from basically tomorrow morning all the way through Monday. So today's Friday, I want to make the most of it. I think that we're going to try, because Sam's home today for Good Friday, I think we're gonna try and go to the park later after my last group of clients. So I'm currently on my lunch break. Took the boys out, threw some ball, and did all the favorite things that we typically do. And just enjoyed the absolutely beautiful weather. I mean, it is just stunning outside. If I could take clients outside, I probably would, to be quite honest. But that's kind of where we are today. Tomorrow morning is also looking bright and cheery. My friend who just had her second baby is actually wanting to go grab coffee and just catch up because we haven't seen each other in what feels like at least 2+ months now. And it's been, I think, 4 weeks since little baby girl arrived. So got a lot to catch up on, and I love her dearly, so I cannot wait to just catch up and have that time with her. I'm also planning on making her some lactation cookies later tonight, so I'll probably try to take you guys along. It might have to be in silence because Sam does have some coaching stuff he's doing with his kids tonight. So we'll see what we get up to, but it's a very fun week and just wholesome days ahead. I still can't get over these. They're so pretty. Good morning, guys. Please excuse the crazy lighting, but I'm currently here at a coffee shop to go hang out with Sarah for quite a bit. Also, you know how when you have those thoughts of like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Well, let's just say the thoughts. One, I think I like it. I really don't know, but like I've cut some layers into basically the entire front section of my hair. If you're a hairdresser, please just forgive me in advance. But I have not been to a hairdresser even since before my wedding. Like I've just been cutting my own hair, and usually I'm just very simple and just chop some off the end. But considering it's been over 5 months now, I think even maybe in 6 months of considering doing something like this, I was like, what's the worst that could happen? You just have to pin them back and put your hair up or something for the next couple of weeks and months until they grow out a little bit more. But oh well, here we are. But hopefully Sarah's probably pulling in here in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and head in and grab us a table. Maybe actually we'll sit outside because it is, again, gorgeous. We were supposed to have rain today and it looks like it's holding off till tonight now. So fingers crossed it stays that way, because if so, we're going to the farm. Yep. So we are out on the farm. Hopefully you can hear me, but what we were doing this whole morning and early afternoon, if you can see all these flags and the ditch marks, we got 25 of our 100 cannon fir trees planted. We're coming back out tomorrow to finish the rest. That's why I look like an absolute mess right about now. But we're gonna go drop off some fence up top, and while I'm here, before I lose them, Sam treated me to a little wildflower bouquet, if you will. So I want to get those on camera.